Welcome to WrestleMania. Yes, guys, welcome to WrestleMania preview here on Fog Wrestling. We're here to preview night one of WrestleMania. And I don't really understand the whole two-night thing when you just simply always make night one the weaker night. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It makes sense from a business standpoint. I'm sure WWE make more money by splitting WrestleMania into two nights. You've got 2 nights of revenue compared to the one. You know, you've got 2 nights of streaming compared to the one. I guess it just makes more sense. But at the same time, having 2 nights, in my opinion, it does water down the product. McMahon has always been a believer. You know, he's always come out, well, not always, but, you know, recently, last decade or whatever, it's been less is more. You know, they want to give you less Brock Lesnar, then they think that Brock Lesnar will be more important. So why are they giving us more WrestleMania? Surely, by McMahon's same logic, a 1 3-hour WrestleMania show, okay, it's WrestleMania, make it 4 hours, surely a 1 4-hour WrestleMania show would be better than like the 2 5-hour shows that we get, with all the pre-show bullshit as well. So I don't quite understand it, but here, we're not here to slabber about McMahon and criticise the scheduling, even though WWE is fucking horrendous at the moment. But yeah, we are here to talk about night one of WrestleMania. I'm going to preview the card, going to give my predictions, and we're going to see if I am right. So night one. Now, according to Wikipedia, this is the order of the matches. I mean, I guess it could be wrong, because I'm looking at the order here. I'm looking, and it just seems a bit weird to me. I mean, like, there's 3 tag team matches within 4 matches. I mean, why would there be so many tag team matches? I don't quite understand that, but we'll just go through it anyway. If it's the wrong order, it's the wrong order, then sue me. Also, both Raw and the women's SmackDown Championship are happening on the same night. I don't understand that either. I thought they would be splitting them. Raw might be one night, SmackDown the other night, but I guess they're not doing that. Maybe the fact that it's champion versus champion on night 2 with Reigns and Lesnar, maybe they want to have both women's titles on the opposite night to make it feel more important when you get the champion title. I don't know what they're doing. Fuck it, let's get into this, guys. Let's do it. Opening match, Raw Women's Championship. It's the champion Becky Lynch defending against the challenger Bianca Belair. I have zero interest in this match. I have zero interest in this feud. In my opinion, it has been atrocious. Bianca Belair, she had her whole road to WrestleMania last year against Sasha Banks, and it's the exact same thing, only you take out Sasha Banks and you put in Becky Lynch. It was Sasha Banks, you know, saying that Bianca Belair was not on her level, etc. You know, Bianca making fun of her hair, trying to cut her hair off, then Bianca using her hair against Sasha Banks. It's the exact same thing they've done here, only with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch saying that Bianca's not on her level. Bianca's only good because Becky Lynch showed the world how to be great. You know, all that shit, and then it's Bianca, you know, using her hair as a weapon against Becky Lynch. It's the same thing we seen last week, only it's like the second movie. The second movie has to be different in order to be better than the first. This isn't different, it's the same thing. So it's not as good. Plus, last year, it was Bianca Belair's like first road to WrestleMania. I mean, we've already seen it now. The hype, the Bianca Belair hype, in my opinion, has died down a lot since last year. I mean, this is just a poor version of last year's match between Bianca and Sasha Banks. Plus, there was something else I was going to say there, and I cannot remember what it was. And it's pissing me off that I cannot remember. Oh yeah, I mean, we've already seen this match quite a lot of times. We've seen it back at SummerSlam. We've seen it at the pay-per-view after SummerSlam. Do we want to see it again? I don't think so. I think Becky Lynch should retain. I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca Belair wins, but in my opinion, Becky should retain the belt. I just don't think there's any reason putting the belt on Bianca. I don't think she's popular enough. I don't know. I don't think she's ready. For me, the belt should remain on Becky Lynch. Moving on with the Mysterios versus The Miz and Logan Paul in a tag team match. Why you would care about this match, I honestly have no idea. It's going to be fucking horrendous. I'm going to go with The Miz and Logan Paul winning, but I can easily see the Mysterios winning since it's the first time they're competing at Mania, and Rhea is the cover of the new game, so I can easily see why the Mysterios win, but I'm going to say The Miz and Logan Paul win, so then we have Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. Yeah, I mean, fuck. That whole feud's been terrible. Who cares? I certainly don't. Drew McIntyre will win. I'll be I'll be shell shocked if there's any other outcome here than a Drew McIntyre win. I think it'd be a bigger surprise if Corbin won. I'd be surprised by more than that than I would be if McIntyre legitimately cut off Corbin's head with a sword. That's how unlikely it is that Corbin wins. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. Then we have a tag team championship match. SmackDown tag champs, the Usos versus Nakamura and Rick Boogs. I'm hoping the Usos win, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Nakamura and Boogs win. But I'm going to go with the Usos to retain. Then we have another tag team match. The New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch accompanying Peaky Blinders. I mean, what the fuck is this? I mean, 3 shit tag team matches, like, within... No, like, why? Why has it been oversaturated with tag team matches? I'm going to go with the New Day. Actually, no, I'm going to go with Peaky Blinders. I think Sheamus and Ridge Holland might win. But then again, maybe they'll punish Ridge Holland for almost fucking killing Big E, so I don't know. I think I'd rather get dropped in my head than watch this match, though, seriously. Then we have Seth freaking Rollins versus an opponent of Mr. McMahon's choosing. The opponent will be revealed on the night. There's a lot of speculation about who this opponent will be. Honestly, I'm not too sure. There's people saying it's Cody Rhodes. Apparently, Cody Rhodes is not ready to compete, and it's not going to be Cody Rhodes. Honestly, I think it'll be Shane McMahon. I'm going to say Shane McMahon. That is my prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to say it's Shane McMahon. But I'm going to say Seth Rollins wins anyway, because I think Seth Rollins is due a win. He's been booked pretty poorly. I think recently, he hasn't... Ever since his match with Roman Reigns, he's been on a downward spiral. So I think he needs a win here. And I think he'll get it against whoever the opponent is. And I mean, no matter who the opponent is, it's not going to change my mind. I think Seth Rollins will win. Unless the opponent is like Goldberg, then obviously I think Goldberg will win. But it's not going to be Goldberg, so I'm going with a Seth Rollins victory. In the main event, or at least what I'm calling the main event, I don't believe this has been billed as the main event, because the main event is a talk show. But Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey on the last match of night 1. Charlotte, the champion, defending the title. I am going to go with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey has never lost a one-on-one match in the WWE. She's only ever lost one match, and technically she didn't really lose because her shoulders weren't down at the last, was it WrestleMania 35, whatever, against Becky Lynch in that triple threat. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey winning this. And I think the reason why I'm going with Ronda Rousey, I think they've made it too obvious. Now, I get what they're doing. They've tried to make Charlotte look dominant so that we think Charlotte, is going to, finish that dominance, complete that dominance at the pay-per-view. But Charlotte has been booked so strong that if Charlotte then went on to win, it would legit make Ronda look weak. So they've built up Charlotte so much that I think she has to lose. Therefore, I'm going with Ronda Rousey. And then in the main event of WrestleMania Night 1, we've got the KO show. It's going to be Kevin Owens hosting it with Steve Austin. I guarantee there will not be a match. I repeat, there will not be a match between these two. It'll be a talk show. There'll be a stunner, maybe a couple of stomps, maybe a couple of punches, maybe a 30-second brawl, but there will not be a match between Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that is how they're going to end Night 1 WrestleMania. It's a bit weird. I don't think WrestleMania has ever been ended with anything other than a match, so this will be the first time ever, if I recall, that WrestleMania has not finished with a match. Very strange. Especially when you're like Ronda Rousey in there, who's supposed to be this big star. And if you look at the YouTube clip, she does get more views than all the other women. So, yeah, no, she is, out of all the women, she is the biggest star. But it just goes to show you guys that Austin is really is the man. That Austin can be gone for all this amount of time. And he comes back, and McMahon is just going to put him straight in the main event because he looks at the rest of the roster, and the rest of the roster just isn't main event worthy. I mean, can you imagine that time they had the Battle of the Billionaires? Imagine if that happened now. That would 100% be the main event because there's nothing else that could come close to that. You've got McMahon, Trump, Austin as the special guest referee. But back then at WrestleMania 23, the roster was great. Look at the main event. You had Batista, Taker, you'd Cena, Shawn Michaels. You don't have that in Night 1. So I can understand why this talk show is going on last. But to me, it spells out how bad the whole Night 1 is. There's no standout match. I guess Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey is the standout match, But, I mean, how good of a match can this really be if it's not good enough to go last over a talk show? So yeah, guys, that's my predictions. I'm going to predict Kevin Owens gets his ass whooped and gets a Stone Cold Stunner. Yeah, so night one, that is it. If you have any complaints, if you have anything you want to say, or if you have any predictions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll catch you for the review, and until next time, peace.